Rabbi Raskin is a Chabad rabbi in Jamaica. Chabad rabbis are Orthodox rabbis like myself. We live in far-flung communities. Now people say to me, oh, it's so hard. You have to drive your kids to Lakewood an hour and a half each way to go to school. And the truth is, it's pretty much a luxury compared to what you have over there because you are a flight away from any kind of Jewish education. And so your kids are homeschooled. Now, both you and I we started out focusing really on the Jewish community as rabbis, but I got a little word that you also have a little Noahide community, a Bnei Noah community where you are, which means people who are not Jewish, who believe in Hashem, believe in the Torah, and believe in following the 7 laws of Noah. And I was fascinated to hear that you are teaching non-Jewish people, just like I am on my new Instagram channel, Humans for Noah. Hello to those that are watching. Welcome aboard. We actually have a class that's live here in Ventnor. And over here is Tony. Tony is the vice president of our Bnei Noah. Okay. This is Officer Dan. He's the president. There's a lot of politics between Tony and Dan because both of them don't want the job. I gave them the job. So they're always fighting. Tony is like, why do I have to be, he's like, why do I have to be the president? You be the president. Anyway, that's what's going on. Cecilia is the treasurer.
I am?
Yeah, basically you're the treasurer. And, yeah. And the bottom line is we don't have any money, so you don't really have a job yet. But one day we're going to start raising money for Bnei Noah. So that's our story. We started teaching Torah to non-Jewish people. Now I understand that you're doing similar. Do you want to tell us a little how you fell into, as a Chabad rabbi, starting teaching Torah or lessons to non-Jewish people? What's your story?
Okay. So as we say in Jamaica, the motto in Jamaica is "out of many, one people." It's a very, very special country. Jamaica is known for one love, and as many communities are in Jamaica, but everybody is very, very respectful to one another from all backgrounds and forms. And there was a lot of people were requesting, different ideas from Torah, and it was a no-brainer to listen. These are beautiful 7 Noah laws that God gave Moses and Mount Sinai for humanity, and we have to share it. So we started off with a class in someone's house. Now it's more like when we have big events, when it comes to Hanukkah or Sukkot, we had a festival where everybody, they join along with us, and we focus on the Ark, which reminds us of Noah's Ark, and the Ark is more than just the Ark. The Ark is an acronym for 3 words: acts of routine kindness. So everybody who leaves the classes,
you said acts of routine kindness.
Yes. Or acts of random kindness, which we encourage everybody to leave these events or leave these sessions with, to do something good for humanity. And lately we started writing different articles about the 7 Noah laws in the local newspaper, which we received tremendous positive feedback. And we didn't take it yet to weekly classes as you took it, Rabbi Raps, which is inspiring, and kol hakavod, hats off to you. But Bezrat Hashem. So okay. Anybody, and besides, we have our center in the center of Montego Bay, where that is the hub where people are coming from cruise ships, hotels, and some people want a bite of kosher, or some people just see this sign, Acts of Routine Kindness Center. They're wondering what it's all about. So we get a chance to tell them about the 7 Noah laws, and they go home with a special gift, which is the Ark box, which right now I am in traffic, I'm trying to head there so I can show you how the place looks and
Okay.
how those little boxes look, so you can get a little idea about it.
Well, we're gonna stick around a little bit, so don't worry. Don't speed. We'll see you when you get there, and we want to see your center. That's really
Officer, officer, the phone is on magnet. The mic is right here on top. Where just lately they ran a rule in Montego Bay of no cell phones in the hand. It's just recently.
cool. Okay. So you don't really have to worry because Dan is a correctional officer, which means if you get thrown into jail, then you have to worry. But otherwise, you're probably okay.
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah, you have someone on the inside, but only if you're in New Jersey. But okay, so that's fascinating. What is the symbol of an ark to you? What message does the ark, the teva, that's how you say an ark in Hebrew, in the Torah, in the Bible, what message do you think the ark has for humanity?
See, right now I look at the ark as I don't see it as the physical ark. I see it as the three words. Since I've been doing this, since it's actually going to be 1 year. It was April 18 last year. I was privileged to be called to the King's House in Jamaica. Jamaica is part of the Commonwealth, so there's a King's House. The Governor General is the representative of the King in England, King Charles, and we requested from him a proclamation to honor the great Rebbe, in honor of his Hebrew birthday. And since 2018 or 19, I can't even remember anymore. He has been sponsoring this proclamation, but last year has been the first year that I was privileged to be invited to His Excellency's house, and we had a lovely meeting. And I'll share with you something very interesting. We presented him with a siddur, because as we all know, the siddur is a prayer book. It's not only for Jews. There's lots of prayers that are in there. It's for everybody. The moment he got that prayer book, he was so happy, so excited. He's like, I was always looking for a Jewish prayer book. I'm not sure why he didn't buy one. He was able to, but I guess he was waiting for that moment for us to present it to him. And right away he asked me, Rabbi, can you show me where is the blessings we make before you eat? There's all different blessings, I heard. So right away I looked at the index and I showed it to him, and I said, Your Excellency, I have to make a blessing. And I said, Blessed are you, King of the universe, Shechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'gihanu zman hazeh, that God gave us life and sustained us, and that I arrived to this moment, to this day. It was very, very special. It was very emotional. Then we sat down for about 10 minutes, which lasted about 30 minutes. There's protocols, how long your meeting is supposed to be. And we discussed about the 7 Noah laws, and we ended off about the ark. Now, when I say the ark, it's that little ark box. I wonder if I should have one in my car. If not, it's another great way, Rabbi. I'm sure you know, to be protected from accidents is to have a charity box and holy books in the car. So the ark is a good protection. Just like going in the ark, it saves you from the big floods. So we gave him I presented him with the ark. And,
if you don't mind, Rabbi, let me just jump in here because you're touching on something really important. People are very interested in spiritual protection. A lot of people are interested in the mezuzah, but the Lubavitcher Rebbe would often say to have a chitas, which is a all-in-one Siddur, Chumash, Tehillim, Tanya book as a form of protection, and actually to have a charity box in your car. And so your little ark is a charity box, so that's a great thing. And so you get in the car, you get a little change from the toll. I mean, today everything's digital, but you put a coin in, you make a little mitzvah, and suddenly your car is now, you're on a mission of mitzvahs, and that's supposed to protect you. So I didn't put it out yet, but when I went to the lot where my car was totaled, and I pulled out a dechitas, and I pulled out the tzedakah box, and I made a little video saying, like, I feel like I was saved because that was a crazy accident. And I said, I think this is what helped me. And by the way, there was 2 chitases in my car, because knowing me, I never know if I have one, I forget, I lose it. So there was 2. So maybe it was double protection.
Wow.
But anyway,
Wow.
I cut you off. Continue. So you're giving him the prayer book, and you're giving him the
ark.
The charity box.
Now I must tell you, I know this is live, but it's okay. Before we sat down to meet with His Excellency, we had a protocol by, those in the office over there, and they told us, this is how you conduct. You have to call him His Excellency. There's different rules how you have to speak to him. And so I asked them, I have this ark. Will it be okay that I offer a $100 Jamaican, is about $1 US, a little less, to give to His Excellency to put into the ark box? The major told me, I don't think now is the time. I said, okay. But when I presented His Excellency with the ark, with the acts of routine kindness box, he asked me, can I be the first one in Jamaica to put $1 in? I was blown away. I had one ready in my pockets, and I right away tried to crunch it up. His Excellency, Rabbi, we have time, because I knew we were over time on our meeting. He sat there, folded it once, twice, like a good Englishman, and he was the first one. There's a beautiful picture of him putting it in. It was funny, after he put it in, he says, did the cameraman capture the picture? Let them know that way, put it into the ark.
Wow.
And
you know what? We'll just jump in for a second.
Please jump in all the time. Feel free to always jump in.
I didn't realize I didn't actually hit live on Instagram. We're live on a couple apps, and Instagram is our main app. So those who are logging in right now, welcome aboard. I am with Rabbi Raskin here, who's a Chabad Rabbi in Jamaica. He not only teaches Torah to Jewish people, but he also teaches non-Jewish people about living in sync with the 7 laws of Noah. And this is something I teach in this channel over here. And so those that are logging on now, we're getting a little background on how a rabbi who was sent to Jamaica to teach Jewish people is now inspiring all people with the 7 laws of Noah. Now, you just told us that you gave a prayer book and a charity box,
correct,
which is in the shape of an ark. You gave it to the king of Jamaica. Is that?
No, the governor general.
Oh, you said
who's the representative of the king in England, as Jamaica is part of the Commonwealth.
Got it.
Correct.
And this governor is so excited about your siddur, about your prayer book. Does he practice any particular religion?
Yes, he's actually a Seventh-day Adventist.
So a Sabbath keeping follower, at least in.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. And you still have a relationship? Are you still in touch?
We're hoping he will sponsor this year's Education and Cheering Day once again. We've been in touch since then. We wished him well. He just had a situation. Absolutely. And I must say, since that meeting, the ARC idea really took a hit. Meaning, we took it seriously that we have to bring an ARC box to every single person we meet. That our encounter should be not just what we can do for each other, but what can we do for a third person. And not just what can we do once, but as the word of the ark is, acts of routine kindness. To be a daily giver. When we have a routine of giving, besides you're doing a positive commandment of being charitable, it has a great effect on the hand that is giving and the whole body and the whole person. It's not like, okay, I'm sending once a month, I'm sending a check, once a month I'm putting in $1. It's every day. Of course, in the Jewish religion, we don't do it on Sabbath, so on Friday we give double for the Sabbath.
Right. So you give this little ARC charity box out to anyone you meet, and then where do they give the money to?
So that's the idea, based on what I just wrote this article last week. It was published yesterday in the local paper, and I was watching this video of the Rebbe in October 1991. CNN arrives at Chabad Lubavitch headquarters, 770 Eastern Parkway, and they say, Rebbe, what is your message to the world about the Messiah? And the Rebbe answered, it was already printed in all the newspapers. And the Rebbe continued, you could watch this video. Maybe you could show it afterwards. Mashiach is ready to come. The Messiah is ready to come. It's only on our part to increase in doing acts of goodness and kindness. A little bit more. So every time we do acts of goodness and kindness, we bring the world to a perfection. If anybody doesn't know what Mashiach is, Maimonides says it's going to be a time that there's going to be world peace, no hunger, no wars, no jealousy. It's going to be a time that everybody is going to see God as just like the water covers the ocean. The knowledge of God will be flowing in the entire world. So back to this article about the story of the Rebbe. So I was thinking to myself, CNN comes to the Rebbe. The Rebbe could have said a verse from Isaiah, another verse from the Bible. Why, the Rebbe had his chance. He was on live television, right? He had it. What's his message? And the Rebbe's message was so simple and so profound that we just have to do a little bit more of kindness, and the world is going to be better. And that is what, inspires all the Rebbe's followers to do what we do. And this is one of the things that really inspired me, that we have to spread out the message, especially this message of sharing acts of routine kindness. Now, I want to add something. So in this article, I did a little research. That was in 1991. So I did a deep search, and I requested as follows. How much kindness came to the world from 1991 till 2025? And I was fascinated. I got a report from the UN. I got reports from Harvard. They say that half of the world population has done something good for someone else. Whether it was to feed someone homeless, to do an act of kindness, to do something positive. And the amount of charity that was given over the past 30 years, you cannot compare it till before 1991.
Really?
We're talking about billions and billions of dollars. So yeah, with all the darkness going on in the world, and people think, oh my God, and the news headlines always picking on the bad things happening, there is a lot of good going on in this world that is not making the headlines. And
that's
we should know
negative news sells, but happy news doesn't really sell. But that's an interesting statistic. So the percentage of kindness across the world they've measured an increase since the Rebbe's campaign.
Correct.
Wow.
It was really mind blowing, and if then 1991 we were already in the Messianic era of the end, close to the end of days, how much more so are we now?
Right. And this idea,
today I think Yeah.
And this idea of a charity box, by the way, there's a digital version of this today, because a lot of people don't have coins on them or dollars. I have it in my tefillin bag. It is like a fob sticker, and you could have it on the wall of your house, and it's programmed to your phone. And when you touch your phone to the fob, and I could put a link out to people. There's a couple of them that I use. It literally, and you could program every time you touch it. It could be a nickel, it could be 50 cents, it could be $1, it could be $1,000, whatever it is. You pre-program it, and the thing is that you don't. And this is what the rabbi was saying before, which is very interesting. It's nice to write a big check to a charity once a year, once a month. That's definitely a good thing. We shouldn't stop that. But the idea of doing something premeditatively every single day, routine, making kindness a routine, actually adds holiness to the moments of your day. And so it elevates that day in a way that a check in the beginning of the year won't. So you should still write your $100,000 debt to charity, hopefully that and more. But aside from that, the idea of putting a coin in a charity box, or even digitally doing that constantly. By the way, did you arrive? Are you there?
Yes, I just arrived.
Okay.
There was some message came up on my phone right now. Recording stopped. So I don't know if you were recording and you wanted it to continue.
Let's see. Hold on.
Okay, so we arrived at the Arc Center. Can I flip the camera over here? Or I need to turn around the phone. Okay. So it's a little dark right now. It's just here you have the 7 points of lights on the building. So you have belief in God, not to curse God's name, not to murder, no stealing, respect the relationships, not to be cruel to animals, and establish justice. Okay.
Yeah.
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, that's great.
Here we are, the center of Montego Bay. Check it out, the traffic. This is the hip strip. Here's the kosher spot. And here you have the sign, the Access to Kindness Center.
It's a little hard for us to see, but and what do you have there? Do you have a kosher restaurant there?
Are you able to see now?
It's just too bright. You can't really read it.
And right over here, right when you come in, this is what you got. Here is the arc we're talking about. Spread light with acts of random kindness. And here it is. All right, I'll settle down now.
It does look like an arc. Oh, I think we lost you for a second. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, man.
By the way, how's the weather over there? How's the weather?
It's freezing here. I just put on my winter coat. We're expecting about 5 feet of snow tonight. And so I have an ark. We're going to all go into Noah's Ark, this little yellow boat, and hopefully we will be saved from the big flood of the snow tonight.
You know, I like your ark, Rabbi, but can I be like Frank? It's too small.
Please.
You need bigger ark. Can we redesign it?
Absolutely. Actually, this was designed, I think, by Moshe Heck.
Oh, really?
So it says
it's
on top.
Perfect. I love the look. I just need it to be bigger, you know?
Bill and Share. Bill and Share.
It's beautiful.
And we give it to everybody with a little pamphlet that explains the idea. You know, we tell them, if you're giving back bills, send it back to us. If it's coins, just give it to your neighbor.
Right. If it's bills, he said, give it to him. But if it's coin, give it to your poor neighbor. All right. All right. This rabbi is trying to pay the bill. So is that the restaurant where you're in too? Is your center a restaurant?
This is the restaurant. Let me show you around. I don't know why I can't flip the camera on the app. So here, Okito, say hi. This is Okito. This is our chef.
Hello.
We got falafel. There's Stephanie, our hostess.
Amazing.
We got some merch. Got some yarmulkes. We got some wine.
Some bright colors at the Chabad.
That's the Jamaican colors.
Very Jamaican vibe there.
Color. One light, one love.
One light, one love. I like that.
That's great.
This is another great book, by the way. I encouraged it, I didn't write the book, so I could promote it.
If God is good, why can life be bad? Who wrote it?
It was written by Rabbi David Vigler, Chabad of Palm Beach. He broke it up in 30 days. Really amazing.
Yeah, he's a wonderful speaker.
Rebbe. And here is, anybody who comes in here should get the message. How can you get involved? Reflect, what more good can I do to bring life to this world? Act, leave a message of kindness, a mitzvah, or support our mission. Connect, visit us for Jamaica kosher catering, Judaic or Shabbat services. There we go. Scan below to get involved. Here you got some more arcs. Here you got the film stand. Here you got the barrels. There we go. And we're gonna put up over here a TV with people can watch videos and the history of Jamaica, Jewish Jamaica. And of course, wait a second, this is the most exciting part. This is the newest kosher jerk sauce out there with the face of Bob Marley. It has a OU and the JK. Here we go.
Hold it steady. Hold it steady.
Blue Mountain Coffee. And you got the whole tour.
Now, is that your synagogue as well, or is it a different building where the synagogue is?
That's a different building. So this is like 426 square feet. It's in the center of town. There's hotels over here as well.
And this is your quiet season?
Quiet season starts right after Passover, but it's starting to quiet down. It's as it gets warmer in the States, less people are looking to come to the heat of Jamaica. But we have visitors all year round because Jamaica, everybody likes to come for the culture.
Right. That's great. Well, they might be going for that culture, but then they walk in and they get a different culture as well. They get Torah culture, whether they're Jewish or not Jewish.
Yes, exactly.
They get inspired.
Yeah, in Kingston, right?
That's beautiful. So I love the imagery of this ark. The Rebbe has a very powerful sicha and a talk, and he talks about the Noah's Ark and how it was a turbulent storm and the water was coming from the bottom and from the top. And so how do you protect yourself? So God says, build for yourself an ark and enter into the ark. And so the Rebbe gives a symbolism that says, of course, it was talking about a physical ark, but also a spiritual ark. And in Hebrew, ark is a teva, but teva also means words. So words of Torah study and words of prayer. So a person is supposed to create a certain time during the day that they enter into the ark. They create in the chaos of the day a time for reflection of Torah, learning, and also of prayer. And I think that message is a universal message. I think it's for everyone. We are all supposed to believe and pray to God. And if we want to know what our mission is, we have to study the Torah. Of course, a non-Jewish person studies the 7 laws of Noah and those things that are related, and a Jewish person studies about the 613 mitzvahs. But that ark is a very powerful symbol. And suddenly, instead of the storm drowning us, the waters of the storm lift us up. And the storm represents the chaos in the world, specifically the stress of earning a livelihood. What's the terminology the Rebbe uses for the waters? Daigas haparnasa, right? The worry of paying the bills. But you look so relaxed over there. It looks like you're paying all your bills, no problem, Rabbi.
The Rebbe once said, how do you what's the best key to keep calm? Trust in God. Why should I worry? So yes, every month we have miracles over here. We trust in God, and the more trust you have, God shows you back.
That's why you look so relaxed.
I can be worried, I could stress out, I can have anxiety, or I really practice what I preach. And when we say to believe in God and trust in God, really, really trust in Him. But I can't
So
just trust in Him and not call
have you
anybody.
had a story that happened to you where you didn't know what's going to happen and all of a sudden something happened because you had trust?
Oh yes. We just had a story this year in December. So as you mentioned before, bringing kosher food to Jamaica is not easy. There's certain things, living on an island is just tough. And Jamaica is a very lovely island, but when you want to import things here, they want to really make sure that you need it. So they make sure the amount of paperwork they give you is that if you don't need it, you're not going to go through that paperwork and bring that thing in unless you really need it. And yes, it's something you have to prepare weeks for it. So I don't know how long do we have, Rabbi Raps? I could go with all the details, or I could say long story short.
I think we're going to wind down soon, but I'll let you. If it's a good story, I'll let you tell as many details you think is.
Okay. In short, I don't know. I like to always say short, and then I just talk and talk.
Of course, you're a rabbi. In short, 6 hours later.
Exactly. So we scheduled in the month of October a container from New York. We got all the paperwork. I'm here a decade, so by now I did learn the permits and the USDA documents and the brokers and everything we need to do to bring in the kosher food. And this year I decided save a bissel geld. We're gonna ship it from New York instead of Florida. So, because everything in Florida is basically coming from New York. So I said, let me just ship it from the source. It'll take 2 weeks to come to Jamaica instead of 5 days. So we scheduled an ark. There we go. We're talking about an ark, a container to carry all the kosher chicken, just about 4,000 kilos of chicken legs, thighs, whole, dark meats, wings, whatever you can think of that will last us for the entire winter. And I call up, everything is perfectly well, we're back and forth, he sends me the quotes, I say, okay, I call the butcher, everything is ready, he says, yeah, you can pick it up on Thursday. I call the guy from the container, he says, oh, Rabbi, I overbooked, and I don't have room for your container to go. And I'm like, oy vey, if my container does not leave that weekend, the time it's going to arrive in Jamaica, my permit is going to expire. And what I worked to get a permit for 4,000 kilo kosher chicken was not easy. So we need to figure something out. And I put on my status, WhatsApp status. Anybody knows the containers we tried, and I must say, fellow friends from all over, some who visited us once, or friends of friends, connected me with different people. But unfortunately, we couldn't get a container for that weekend. It was really, really busy. Apparently, there was also some type of strike about to happen. I don't know if you remember. There was some strike on the ports of New York. Or maybe it didn't happen, but it was supposed to happen. Whatever. Finally, I have a friend who does business in Jamaica. He's like, listen, why don't you call my guy? He does these shippings in Florida, and he picks up stuff from New York, so he can truck the chicken from New York to Florida, and you'll take your old way, container from Florida. And in truth that was my only way to make it with the permits, was to do it that way. He was very, very kind. He gave me a good deal. Together with his stuff, he put my stuff, and everything was nice and dandy, as you say, worry-free. And finally, my container, my ark arrives to Jamaica with all the kosher chicken. I call up my broker, and I ask her to go take care of everything. And all of a sudden, there was one mistake, literally a mistake in the date of one of my documents, that it said that it expired. It was issued on December 6th, but expired November 28th. Normally, the document expires December 5th, a whole year later. For some reason, I don't know why that happened. And they're like, Rabbi, if you want to release it, you're going to have to pay a lot of geld.
Hey,
We're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. So we try all our people to help us figure this out. And they say, okay, it's going to take a few days to amend the paper, and we'll have it in a week. A week turned into 1 week. Another week turned into 2 weeks. It's now 16 days later. And that's it. Our freezers are empty. We need our shipments. Thank God nobody unplugged the container. Everything's vacuum packed and fresh. And they say, call this person, and she's going to help you. I call her up. I met her once before, but and she's like, let me look into it. And it's now 3 p.m. I wasn't even in Jamaica. I was celebrating my parents' 40th anniversary in Montreal just for a few hours. We flew in all the siblings together, and I follow up with her. What's going on? Any chance you're going to be able to help us, help the community, so we're going to be able to follow God's laws, the dietary of kosher food? She says, I'm so sorry, I cannot help you. I literally, at that moment, I had two choices. One, to just burst out in tears and cry and fetch, or to practice what I preach, which means trust in God and know that everything He does is for the good. I must say it was a real fight. It was like, like you're trying to push off a ton of bricks falling on your head and holding it up. That's how it felt, the inner struggle. And, as a follower of the Rebbe, I right away called up the Rebbe's resting place, and I called Rabbi Rapsin, who is the emissary to the Rebbe's resting place in Queens. And by the way, that's a place that people from all walks of life have gone there. Even our presidents.
We're talking about making a Bnei Noah trip to go to the resting place of the Rebbe.
Yeah. On October 7th, he was there on October 7th. And that is the day that everything looked better for him. No matter which side you are on, facts are facts. So I asked him, I told him the situation. I said, I need a big blessing over here. I really don't know what I'm going to do. This is, I really don't know. And I went to pray mincha, and during the prayer, there's a part that's called Shema Kolenu. You could add your personal requests, and I turn to God and I say, listen, it's in your hands. The ball is in your court right now. I did everything my part, and please. And the struggle kept going on. We sat down for dinner, family dinner. And we said l'chaim. We were wishing everybody well, for the anniversary. I was good to be with all my siblings. We don't get together so often. And all of a sudden, I get a call during dinner from my broker. Rabbi, send me the rest of the funds for the brokerage fee. I think we're going to get it tomorrow. She didn't want to promise me. I said, I'm sending it to you immediately. Thank God it wasn't the crazy sum that they wanted. And the next day, by 6 p.m., I cannot explain what happened, what changed. everything. This is something, according to nature, I cannot explain. We
Wow.
received our container, and it arrived in Montego Bay, 1 a.m. And from 1 a.m. till 4 a.m., I was packing the walk-in freezer, the entire container. And that is how the story of belief, trust, and yeah.
Wow. You really, it's called living on the edge, huh? You know, I just think about what you need to go through to get kosher food. It sounds like it's time for you to learn how to slaughter the chickens yourself.
Yes, we had a lot of chickens here during COVID. Not
Are you a
myself.
shochet? Are you
I'm
a
not a
shochet?
shochet, even
A
though my
mohel?
namesake, I'm not a shochet or a moel. I don't like to deal with blood. But
Okay.
and we brought down a shochet over here. I have my brother-in-law as a shochet as well. We bring him down when we need. Unfortunately, we did not find yet a proper facility to do the slaughtering. We found like third world slaughterhouses, which the labor work would take from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. and just covering 500 chickens.
Right.
So we said it's probably easier to ship the container. So now we have to make the conclusion which one is easier.
Right. It's like you need a massive amount. It's
Yeah,
right.
if there's proper slaughterhouses here, more modern, that you could just slaughter literally hundreds of thousands of chickens a day. That would be the best thing. So Bezrat
Right.
Hashem will help.
Do you like revert to selling fish in the restaurant when you get stuck or things get low? Does that ever happen that you just have to like get local? Because fish you could get locally, right?
Right. So the fish, yeah. The by the way, the restaurant is right now parve because we don't have a permanent rabbi at the restaurant the entire day. If we would be selling deli or chicken, I would need to be here. So whoever wants, meat or chicken, we have a catering, but that's near my offices.
So what do you do, like
And
fish and falafel? Like, is that what the restaurant has
you have
during?
chips, you have falafel and chips, you have smoothies. We got the Bob
Yeah.
Marley smoothie.
Barbara. Bob
Stephanie,
Marley
I'm gonna order
smoothie.
a Bob Marley smoothie.
Well, we're going to
Yeah,
have to make a Bnei Noah trip to Jamaica now. We're doing a trip to India and now to Jamaica because we're in touch with all the communities around the world. That's fascinating. By the way, we are in a beach town as well. We're very busy in the summer, and we run a restaurant. We actually close it during the winter, but one of the thoughts was because we can't have a full-time mashgiach to switch it to Nichnas V'Yetza, have a non-dairy, non-meat restaurant. So we
right.
were actually. I'll probably ask you about that because that's something we've been thinking about as well.
So, and we're
Well,
right now thinking of getting someone more full time for the winter so we can start having meat and chicken.
right.
So,
Great. Well,
yeah,
thank
you
you.
have to
Thank
skip
you for telling
the
us,
flight.
what you do and your project of the Ark, and it's very interesting and very inspiring, and how you have to literally live with trust, not just faith, but Amuna. We said last week we had a class. We said Amuna is faith, but bitachon is trust, and that's what really brings the blessings.
With pleasure, Rabbi Raps. I just want to finish off with a beautiful explanation I saw on the Maimonides. In Maimonides, we just concluded Maimonides about a week and a half ago, and I think that's when we spoke. And the law, it's chapter 9 of the laws of kings and wars. He speaks about, I think also 8, talks about the laws to Bnei Noah. And the Maimonides says something so important. He says, if a Noahide believes in all the 7 Noahide laws, just because it makes sense, not because God told Moses on Mount Sinai, he is not fulfilling his commandments. And I was always wondering, why is this so like the doorstep to keep the 7 Noahide laws? What, okay, it's all things that make sense. And I saw something beautiful, that when we keep the laws just because it makes sense, believe in one God makes sense, not to curse gods, they make sense, to not to kill, not to steal, to respect the laws of marriage, to kill the animal before eating it, set up courts of justice. All these things are common sense. Who needs God through Moses on Mount Sinai to tell us this? So when we do it just because of our intellect, it's limited. The minute I find an idea, oh, you know what, I could steal, it's right, it's rightfully mine. According to my intellect, it makes sense. I'm allowed to kill this man. He's pure evil. Or I'm allowed to do something that's not justice. So the minute we don't have something that's higher from intellect, that it belongs to, that these are the laws that God told Moses on Mount Sinai, then everything becomes permitted. As the Rebbe once said about the Nazis, Yimach Shemam v'Zichram, may their names be erased forever and ever. They were the most in art and philosophers and everything, so intelligent. How were they able to do the most horrific thing in history? Was because everything was connected to their intellect. And according to their ideas, according to their mind, they were able to say, oh, you know what, we have to get rid of these people. But the minute it's connected to higher from intellect, that this is the laws that was given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai, it's not something that I understand, it's something more profound, something more deeper, then not only the one who keeps it becomes a righteous Gentile, he has a portion in the world to come, as Maimonides said.
Beautiful. That's great. Yes. That's a good message. So it's got to be because Hashem told us to do it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, wishing you much hatzlacha, a lot of success, and I hope you get your chickens delivered a little easier next time. It sounds like quite an amazing operation you're doing, and it can't be easy. You're smiling and you seem relaxed, but that's only because you have the tachan.